Hi, this is Nancy from Nancy's Garden Soap Co. And tonight I'd like to make a Castile soap with all natural ingredients, including lemongrass fragrance oil and coloring derived from turmeric and lemongrass powder. So this is what I infused starting last night. I took some olive oil that I had and I put a tablespoon of turmeric into it. This spoon is my tablespoon of turmeric and a tablespoon of lemongrass, and let it sit overnight. Let me show you the containers I used to do this. I go to Asian markets. There's Asian supermarkets around here, and I bought this one right here. It says lemongrass powder. Dragons on the side, product of Vietnam. I used a tablespoon of this since I'm going to have it lemongrass flavor or scent. And then also, this is the turmeric powder. I honestly cannot pronounce turmeric to save my life. I usually call it turmeric, but anyway, this is the powder that I use. It should make it a nice yellow color. And what I'd like to do now is weigh out the oil. Let me put this one here. And I'd like to sift and weigh out my oils. All right, so I'm just going to pour this through and see what we get. I don't really want the sludge that's at the bottom too much, so I'm just going to use that top part, which is 9.75 ounces. Let's see if we can get it up to 10 of oil. I'm going to be making a 64-ounce batch. It's going to be a little bit inaccurate because some of this is sitting in here being weighed. So let's take that out. Yeah, we're still good. Okay, so it's 10 ounces right there. And now I just have to add 54 ounces to it. Clear that out. You can see it's got a little bit of the powder that went through. So we'll just leave that and see how it goes, okay? Hopefully it won't be scratchy. So we have 10 ounces, so I need to add another 54 ounces of my olive oil. This is just plain old pomace olive oil right here that I buy locally, and I'm going to add 54 ounces of this here as quickly as possible because my battery on my scale is dying. Low battery I get. I debated about putting sea salt into this recipe, and I decided against it. Yep, see, went low battery. All right, I'm going to have to regroup and measure this off. I have to recalibrate and then measure again. I'll be back once. All right, well, here's the recipe that I printed out off of soapcalc.com, and it tells me that I'm using 100% pomace olive oil, which is 4 pounds, 64 ounces. And then up here it says how much water I need to add, which is 16.3 ounces or 462 grams. And the lye that I need is 8.15 ounces or 231 grams. So this is what I'm going to be pouring out now. That's how I got my information. And this will be, let's see, 16.3 ounces. 16.6 will do. A little bit too much. I'm using a 2-to-1 water to lye ratio. And next we measure the lye out. Okay, so I hit the tare button on here. And then we need 8.15. And I just put too much in. Just grab a spoon. I don't know what you do when you pour too fast. I tend to grab a spoon and take some out. I prefer not to have to do this, but it does happen, especially when you're distracted by making a video when you should be just focusing on making your soap. 8.15, and throw that in here to clean it off a little bit. Put it in the sink. close up my lye, and 8.2. That'll work. All right, and then we want to add the lye to the water. Remember, snow into the lake. This is old hat for some of you, but this is a stainless steel spoon. I'm just going to add it in. When I was new at doing this, I used to add it very slowly, very cautiously outside. Now I usually just open a window and step back and get out of the way. So it gets really hot and then and opaque, and then it will turn clear and cool off, and then I'll use it. So, all right, I'm gonna step away for a little bit. I'll come back soon and see. All right, I have my lye measured out and cooled off, and this is my fragrance oil, lemongrass essential oil. It's about 2 ounces of it, and scrape that out a little bit. I'm gonna stir that in ahead of time. And I have my stick blender ready. And I'd like to pour, this batch of lye seems to have some little itsy bitsy pieces that are undissolved that are at the bottom. So I'm going to pour it in through a sieve just to prevent any little extra pieces of lye from going into, can you see that? You can see it's just some little white bits. Probably just some kind of salt, but I'm not risking it. If you see that your lye does that, you probably need to do the same thing. All right, this should be quick and to the point. It smells wonderful. You can smell the lemongrass. The color's looking good right now. All right, that's at a nice thick trace, which is what I need for this soap. I promised myself I wasn't going to bang my stick blender, but sorry about that. All right, let's try to pour this where you can actually see what's going on. Line it up a little bit, and I'm just going to pour in here. I needed it thicker because this soap mold isn't extremely sealed. It works best with a medium to thick trace. All right, and I think I'd like to texture the top a little bit. Just going back and forth with a spoon until I get something that I like. I think this will work. I don't know if you're like me, but you tend to I play with the top until I get it just the way I want it. And then I do too much. So I'm just going to do a little bit and set that aside and clean up my sides a little bit with the spatula. And we will call it a day, set this aside, and I'll see you tomorrow when I cut it, because I'm thinking that looks pretty good. All right, see you soon. All right, well, I got the soap out very easily. Just popped right out. It looks pretty good. Looks like it might have gone through gel down in the middle, so I'm going to bring over my cutter, and we'll slide it in there. We've tightened all the strings. And I'm going to set it sideways like this and make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. That looks pretty good. I think that the inside of these will mostly be all the same. Let's hope. little bit of gel down the middle. Can you see this right here? There's a little lighter spot. That might clear up as it dries. Not a big deal. And we'll take a look at these different pieces. There's a little bit of the gel. I'll have to update the picture in the middle, the original shot in the YouTube video, so you can see what the final product looks like after it's sat for a little bit. Pretty much all the same. That part in the middle that's a little bit bluish or transparent, but I kind of think that that will go away. Let's see what else we got here. I have to remember this camera doesn't focus real well up close. They smell great. The color is just about right too, I think. I don't know whether turmeric will fade as it sits. If you have some experience with that, let me know. Here's the other portion of it. I'm half tempted not to cut this. So I think I might, we'll cut it. Let's clean up this one little side. Got a little bit of dirt on it or something. All right. Let's try that. There we go. Love the way this cutter works. That piece there is a little bit crooked, but that's all right. See a little speck of color right there, and another one right here. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with them. They look good. A little bit plain for me, but for people who want an all-natural soap that smells great and has no artificial or synthetic colorants or anything, I think this is pretty decent. Let's see if I can get you a close-up shot of them. Pretty much uniform. And the question is how will they cure? Well, that middle part, can you see the variation in color? All right, I think they look pretty decent. Smell wonderful. They're going to be great for skin. So if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, write them down below. Love to hear from you, and have a great day.